Alright, so my last video has a bunch of views, so I'm gonna do a follow-up. I was gonna make this a 2-hour essay video, and we were gonna get BetterHelp.com as a sponsor, but they fell through. I think the reason I keep going back to GTA 4 is it reminds me of 2008 when I basically had no problems. No bills, social media was a non-issue, and I didn't even have a cell phone back then. I got one in 2009. I'm sure it wasn't a great time if you were an adult losing your house or your job, but as a 13-year-old, it was pretty good. We still hung out with our friends outside, rode bikes, gamed it up on Xbox Live, and had a somewhat normal childhood. The past was better. It wasn't perfect, but this current time frame we're in just sucks. I just did a replay GTA 4 and it was a lot of fun. This time I tried only using the lower tier weapons like the AK instead of the M4 and the Uzi instead of the MP5K. I had to have my Deagle though. And I also recently switched to Arch Linux on my gaming PC because Bill Gates pulled the plug on the Windows 10. And I was worried GTA 4 was going to run on it or whatever because Rockstar can't make a PC port to save their life. But after getting some drivers for my 1080 Ti and playing around with Proton, it ran. And it ran better than Windows 10 in my experience. I had virtually no issues in my replay, and I used Fusion Fix to make the game run look better. It has a bunch of options you can dial in and make it look more like the 360 version. The PC version, they actually changed how it looked and kind of ruined the vibe. Now, if you compare it to a modern game, it looks like you're watching it on a potato, but my 13-year-old brain thought this was a reality simulator. It also got a lot right that Rockstar would regress on with GTA 5. Thanks to the Euphoria engine, the game had incredible physics. Cars moved like cars. If you ran someone over hard enough, they would fall and ragdoll. Unlike in previous games where they would seem like they were kind of just floating above the ground. And you can disarm NPCs by shooting their hand that held a weapon. This game had a lot of weird secrets that never really get explained. GTA 4 changed gaming. It was a big deal when it came out, but now it's the underrated GTA. Most people think of 5 or San Andreas or taking Hopium and imagining 6 is going to be good. I also love San Andreas, and I played it even when 4 was out, but I always felt like Rockstar was trying to cram as much content as possible into it. 4, on the other hand, felt like the perfect amount. I wish there was more side content like Little Jacob's deals and driving the taxi for Roman, but the game is fun just driving around and hanging out. I have a controversial opinion. GTA 4 had the best radio station. The talk shows are hilarious and raunchy, and the music stations have a great mix. You have rock, jazz, rap, hip-hop, R&B, soul, some weird-ass electronic music. It introduced me to bands I've never heard of, like the Bad Brains, the Isley Brothers, and my boy Chet Baker. It kind of got me into jazz. The radio adds such an interesting atmosphere to the game. People like saying the city feels like a character in itself. The radio feels the same way. GTA 4 was not a perfect game. I love the selection of cars, and this game actually got me into muscle cars. But I wish we could customize them, even if it was just like the paint job. I will say, introducing special cars that have their own upgrades, besides like the normal versions, like the Jamaican Voodoo, was pretty interesting. And I remember back in the day, I would try finding those special editions and updating the GTA wiki to show you like all the different colors and the different mods. I also wish there were more guns. I get that guns are illegal in Liberty City, and that's why there's no ammunitions, but there should be at least 3 to 4 gun tiers. They kind of fix this in the Baldigate Tony, but it'd be really badass if Nico had a double barrel sawed-off shotgun. I guess that's why God invented mods. The story of GTA 4 is definitely the best in the series, but I don't understand the ending where you make a choice. Why would Nico work with Dimitri, the guy who ran him out of Hove Beach, tricked him into killing Mikhail, burnt down his apartment and the taxi depot, and kidnapped his cousin? Every time Dimitri calls Nico, you can hear the vitriol in his voice. He wishes he could put his hand through the phone and choke him. And we're supposed to want to deal with this guy? And I get it. They wanted to make the game feel like you could impact the world and make some heavy choices. I guess there are a lot of people out there that killed Dwayne instead of Playboy. I don't think I've ever done a playthrough doing that. It's just too sad. Also, why wouldn't you want Playboy's loft and the 2 goons Dwayne sends you if you have a high enough like percentage with them? Back to the ending. If you had the prescience to know if Kate or Roman is killed, would you really pick Roman? Kate is such an underdeveloped character that I don't even care about when she got shot. I'm sure Rockstar had more planned with her, but she is kind of just the worst girlfriend. Everything else about the story is spot on. I don't think GTA 6 will even come close. 5 certainly did not. GTA 4 is also the one I have the most fond memories of. Playing with my friends on Xbox Live was one of the best times of my life. We would go to the airport and cause mayhem, play the game modes Cops and Crooks. Basically there was two teams and either the crooks were trying to stay alive or escort a boss safely from the cops. Rockstar removed it from 5 because it didn't bring enough shareholder value. Also, Alderney was my favorite island, so I would get 6 to 7 of my friends and go there and try to get everyone else from the airport back over there so we could hang out, because GTA 4 Online was pretty much everyone going to the airport. During the summer, we would have 2 to 3 day chunks where we would try to beat GTA 4 as quickly as possible. I made sure my mom got us Mountain Dew Voltage and pizza so we could be ready and focused. I wish I knew how many times I beat GTA 4, but I honestly don't know. I've spent many hours with this game. Sometimes I go years not touching it. In fact, I replayed the game in 2020 for reasons I'm sure you understand, and I didn't touch it again until 2024. But every time I come back, it's like I never left. The game will always be there. We also got some of the best single player DLC. The Lost in Adan is my personal favorite, where you play Johnny Klebets, vice president of the titular biker gang. I like it because it's the first time in a GTA game that you actually feel like you're in a gang. Not that glorified crew they got over there in Los Santos. It also added side content like gang wars, bike races, bike thefts, and missions for my boy Thomas Stubbs. I can't believe what they did to Johnny in GTA 5. It's sad when they go young like that. I think the DLC everyone remembers is The Ballad of Gay Tony. You play Luis Lopez, an occasional usher, bodyguard, and confidant for Tony Prince, a nightclub owner. It was shiny and effervescent compared to the bleak and gritty palette of the base game and The Lost and the Damned. It also added stuff like an APC, which is a mini tank, more guns, and a parachute. If you haven't played 4 or its DLCs, I highly recommend it. Thanks to modding, it's playable on PC and looks amazing. The consoles 360 and after also play it. It doesn't play on PS4 and above because Sony sucks. I also wanted to add, I remember when I went to the midnight release of GTA 5, there was a vendor at the mall, and they had like a DJ and all this stuff. It was kind of crazy, but one of the vendors there had an Xbox 360, and he was playing GTA 4. And I remember thinking, oh man, GTA 5 is going to be just as good or better than 4. Then I got home and played it, and honestly, I think that's when the kid in me died. Alright, hopefully this video is 8 minutes long because we need mid-roll ads. Let me know about your memories playing GTA 4.